Hey, welcome back to the Temple of Tones with your host, Indie Comics Jones. Today is June 24th, 2020, and yeah, it's still hot out. I can't get away from the heat here. This is episode 30. I guess it's my landmark episode since I've hit the big 3-0. But I will continue to do more as we go along here. I was going to do FairLady number 3, 4, and 5, but they're taking me a little bit of time to go through these, so I'm going to do them one at a time. Just want to mention too that I'm finally seeing Birds of Prey on DVD, and I'm actually enjoying it. I didn't think I'd like it at all, but I'm enjoying it. I don't really care for the casting in it. I thought Rosie Perez was an odd choice for Montoya. If you're familiar with the Birds of Prey at all, I can't think what her first name is. Renee Montoya, maybe. Same with Cassandra Cain, a weird choice for that. Harley Quinn's dialogue, it gets old. It's just that accent or dialect she's using. It's it's irritating, but I'm liking the movie, so I don't understand what I'm liking about it. So I'll have to figure that out a little bit later. But crazy thing, I know Comics Matters, the guy that I really look up to on his reviews and stuff, also liked the movie, which I was surprised to hear. I'd heard nothing but bad things about it, so I'm surprised I'm liking it. It's got a little bit of a Pulp Fiction order to it. If you know how things are kind of placed in there out of order in Pulp Fiction, and then they kind of make sense once you've seen the whole movie. It's kind of the same way for this, so I'm wondering if it has something to do with that. But I'm enjoying it, and the photography in it's good. The action scenes are good. So those are two other things about it that I am liking, but not really liking the dialogue so much or the casting. So it's kind of crazy that I'm enjoying it. But let's get on to FairLady number 3, and it's by Brian Shermer, and I can't think of Balboni. I can't think of her first name now. Claudia Balboni. And as if you're familiar with the other FairLady comics, they are supposedly like a whole case. She's a lady detective, a whole case wrapped into one issue. And usually they had a mark on here showing that it's one case is in an entire case in one issue, but they didn't do it on the last 3, so I wasn't sure if I thought it was an arc, to be honest with you. And we can see that this is the case of the Barbarian Secret. Now, what I'm discovering about it, I got a little bit more energy today than usual. I think it's probably because I'm not doing this at 10 o'clock at night. What I noticed about Brian Shermer, he's starting to get a lot of tropes, and they're showing up, and I'm starting to spot them. One of the things that it kind of bugs me a bit that he does is he uses the exact same page. So we get a page of action finally, like right off the bat, like blood curdling action. People are getting beheaded, they're getting stabbed, impaled, and I guess it was too much for him. Let me see if I can get to the right page on here, because he uses the same page again. Mind you, the two last panels have slightly different dialogue mentions in there, but I thought that was kind of funny that he's doing that like on every issue. And I read the 4th issue, I believe I finished it, and he did the same thing in there, and it's just crazy. So let's get into this story a little bit. So I wanted to mention too, this Jenner Falls is the lady detective, and this is supposed to be kind of a spin on Magnum PI. If you're familiar with that show from the 80s, and I think it's been rebooted since then. I haven't seen the new one, so I don't know who's playing it or if it's the same or not. But turns out, if you're familiar with the original show, Magnum PI hangs out at this Hawaiian mansion with beautiful gardens and everything because he saved the life of Robin Masters, who's never there. He's never at this place. Apparently he has other residents all over the world because he's so wealthy. And I realized she takes care of this temple that's a little outside the city that's really kind of luxurious for what's luxurious in this comic. On the same mound, the owner is never there. He's always gone. And just like Magnum PI has Higgins, who's the groundskeeper, there's also a female character in there in this as well that I think her name's Nail John or something like that. We'll see her. She takes care of the grounds. And then just like Magnum PI, she's taking care of security on the grounds. And then there's the guy in this that has the head of a cat, and for no apparent reason, he's just, I guess, another race, but they don't explain anything, whether it's a benefit or any of the other special attributes. He's kind of like Rick, Magnum PI's partner. So I discovered that. Okay, so I got a little bit more into the whole Magnum PI connection. However, she does not have half the humor of Magnum PI. And so it's kind of a drawback on this. I'm not really liking this lead character too much. She's very humorless, and she never was getting touched by any of the assailants. She'd always kind of just dodge everything. This issue, she does actually get bested, finally. Issue number 3. And it's not really anything that ends up being dangerous, but we'll go into it a little bit. She is actually hired to find this guy, and he's supposedly hired. He's the one that hires her to find him, and because he's trying to retire from his life as an adventurer, and there's so many people who want to kill him. He wants to make sure he's picked a good place. Well, she finds him, but she finds him dead. Now, of course, which leads to another mystery. It's like, okay, why is he dead? Who killed him? And then we have this new character come in, and I'm just going to name her Blonde Sonia, because basically she just comes in and starts attacking Jenner Folds. There she is. And we get the Case of the Barbarian secret. And here's another action scene. So this is crazy. So there's actually 2 action scenes within the first 5-6 pages. And as you can see, she pretty much misses every single swing this woman takes. Blonde Sonia takes at her and finally is able to disarm her. And then the police show up. And so they decide, and then, oh, well, let's go drinking. So that was the end of that argument. Then she explains that she didn't kill him. This woman thinks that she has killed that guy, Coltar, I believe his name's supposed to be, but she goes, no, that's... She goes and sees the corpse to identify it, and she says, that's not Coltar. So it's an imposter. And why is there an imposter? Well, you know what? We never really find out in this book. Which seems to be another trope of Brian Shermer. He doesn't really explain things very well. So, just go along. I'm telling you, I read this book 3-4 times. That's why it's taken me a long time to get through them, because I'm looking for clues that I've missed or something. Najla is the name of the Higgins type character, and she's a woman instead of a man. Of course, they're gender swapping a lot here, and I think they actually used some magic in this one, which is cray, because they had not used any magic in the first 2, and it's obviously a magical, mystical place. So this other couple show up, and they're going to try to summon the spirit. So, I'm getting I'm getting that mixed up. They're not summoning a spirit. They're trying to figure out what happened to the guy that got killed using the lock of the hair that Jenner had absconded with from the corpse. And so basically, kind of nothing really happens. except the two mystics get kind of tired out. So she talks about, oh, maybe he's at the farm. Maybe the real Koltar's at the farm. And it's never been discussed before that there's any kind of farm. So she goes out to this farm. And I guess it's nighttime, and she's all camouflaged up because she has like a stripe on her so that no one will see her. And I guess she's got a stripe on her arm to hide her arm. And Koltar's there. This is actually the real Koltar, and he kind of resembles the other guy. There's a little bit of a change of clothing here real quick. Like he's got some kind of more... doesn't have a belt here, and all of a sudden he's got a belt. Things like that seem to be bouncing around a bit. So they have a little bit of sword play. He goes after her. She gets actually disarmed for the first time. She loses a fight, and then he just stops for whatever reason, and she's looking at these huge chickens. He's actually raising these gigantic chickens. Wow, that's pretty cool. And so then they're fast friends automatically for whatever reason. And so he gives her a meal. And look at the size. I mean, these chicken legs must really shrink when you cook them, because that thing is like tiny that he's working on there. So basically, nothing really comes out of it. And then you see the repeat of that. Just nothing's really coming out of it. And he kind of walks out and disappears. And this is another trope I'm starting to see. Just a blank page with like 3 letters on. Like, you couldn't put it up here, 1 month later. Well, she goes back and he's suddenly gone. Koltar's gone again, and he's left his sword. So there's another mystery. Where did he go this time? So we'll see in the next issue that there's a lot of black pages with very little writing on it. So I guess you get your money's worth out with the ink. And so that's the end of the mystery. He's gone again. Ta-da! And yeah, that's it. I'm sorry to say. Here's the flop house where Dunkar, who is the guy impersonating Koltar, was found. And as you can see, it's in the middle of nothing. But that's the flop house where the body was found. And just wanted to point out one more thing once we get through all this. This is just another kind of case that's, I don't know, I just kind of skipped that. This is kind of a setup scene for the next book, and we see this exact same page 2 more times in the other book, plus another scene that kind of looks like this, where it's the same setup, but a little bit different. So they're getting a lot of economy of scales out of the artwork for here and in the future. So overall, I cannot recommend this book. I wish I could. It was very highly rated by some of the other reviews I saw. Not this particular one. It seems like they all did issue 1, but never came back to issues 2 through 5. As far as I can tell, I couldn't find one. They might be on there. Maybe it's listed under something else. But they are a mystery that are unsolvable. They're a mystery that you follow the detective along with, and the detective doesn't help you out with any clues of their own. There's nothing to spot, so it just kind of wraps up on its own. Now, I think what happened in this one may lead up to the ending in the 3rd issue, but it does kind of stop right here on this one. I mean, issue 5, I should say. So there might be some kind of arc working on. I looked ahead a little bit, and it seems like they're bringing characters back from the previous issues, so maybe there's some kind of tie-in on the end of issue 5. I read these like a year ago, and I don't remember them at all. Apparently, I'm just stunned that I kind of liked them, so I'm kind of flabbergasted that I'm giving them such a low review this time around. But anyway, like I said, I poured over. I really looked at them closely, and I'm just not seeing what the mystery is that has been solved, or how they're solving them, or what the clues are. All those things are just absent. It just seems like it's a story that goes on. It's a Shaggy Dog mystery. Okay, and this is the third Shaggy Dog mystery that I've reviewed for FairLady, and I've got 2 more Shaggy Dog mysteries to go. So with FairLady. So I hope you tune in. I hope you enjoyed this. Please subscribe, leave comments, tell your friends. Tell me what you could do better. If you'd like to see something, maybe I could find it, and I'll do a review on that. But anyway, I appreciate you stopping by. Have a great day. Take care. This is Indie Comics Jones from the Temple of Tomes. Take care.